And welcome to day 2 of ICCC here on the ECPC TV stage. This is Brown Squadron, and we get the pleasure of interviewing Paige Turco today on the stage. Welcome.
Thank you.
So today is a big day for the con. There's a lot of TMNT actors and actresses here from the movies. Paige is one of them. She best known as April O'Neil in the movies, but also as my son knows you from The 100. And so we're definitely going to be touching on that a little bit today. But welcome. Is this your first time to Nashville?
Yes, it is.
Yeah? So how are you finding it so far?
You know, it's hard when we travel like this because I don't have much time to like sightsee.
Right.
But it's still fun that I'm here.
Right on.
People have been lovely and the food is amazing. And
it is, isn't it?
Happy.
Right.
I now know why you were blushing. Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. So as I was saying, you were best, for a lot of the fans here, you're best known as April O'Neil. And so we kind of wanted to take a little step back. And how did you land the role? How did you get into the films?
Well, I had prior experience with green turtles. I'm kidding. God, I was such a newbie into the industry because I was a classical ballet dancer.
Oh, wow.
So it was really kind of one of my first big gigs. I started in a soap opera.
And that was Guiding Light,
My
right?
mother was so supportive.
Yes.
And said, "Oh my God, they're going to pay you to talk." She loves me. She's very supportive, but it was funny. I auditioned. I had never seen the first movie, so it was kind of interesting because I don't know. I didn't really know what it was going to entail.
Right.
To really act with turtles.
With people in prosthetic costumes.
Were you able to incorporate ballet into that then?
Oh God, are you? Dancers are so uncoordinated, and I was such a newbie. I knew how to hit my mark, right?
Right.
But the marks were raised for the turtles because they only had like a little tiny slit, so they had to feel the marks with his feet. Well, I found them because I would trip. It was a lot of it was really interesting because. There were 3 guys to 1 turtle. There was the actor in the suit, then there was the stunt guy, because they had to change heads because the heads were so heavy with the animatronic.
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't have done backflips.
Yeah.
And then the puppeteer. So I would trip to get to my mark. And then I would wait for the machinery sound to stop, and then I would say my line. And I have to tell you, it was a very interesting feeling being a newbie because I was like, is this acting? Waiting for, and then also the actor could see, they would close it when they would do close-ups. So you couldn't be claustrophobic to play a turtle. But I would stand there and go, okay, I am talking to basically animated stuffed animal.
Yeah.
But there's an actor in there going, oh my God, has she lost her noodle? So it was fun. And then Splinter, I was like, oh my gosh, I peeked around the corner and I was like, there is a man, I'm not going to swear, but there is a man with his arm up the rat's. I was like, wow, I should have looked.
Ruined the magic.
Kevin is brilliant.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
Who's Elmo?
So back then, you still had to do a lot of animatronics, a lot of puppets. Nowadays, it's a lot of CGI,
Yes.
and basically people are talking to like a digital tennis ball kind of thing.
Right.
So have you done any of that kind of experience?
Not
What's the contrast?
Okay.
In your career, would you prefer talking to the animatronic puppet or the ball?
For different reasons.
Right.
Yes, it would have been a little bit easier had I, although, because I was so new, I didn't really let it push me away.
You didn't have any preconceived notions kind of thing.
Yeah. The ball is trickier.
Right.
You really have to be specific. Imagination-wise. Closer? Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's
all good.
But there's a big difference. The spontaneity, but you make it work.
Right.
I think the worst is not even the tennis ball. Sometimes they'll put tape in the box. And that takes time getting used to because you have the actor here and the tape in the box, and you're speaking
To the tape.
on the box, and they're talking at the same time. So your instinct is to go like this.
Right. Yeah.
But you get used to it.
Right on.
You know.
Yeah. Henry, did you?
Yeah, so we got into it a little bit earlier, but I know you most from your work on The 100, which I loved, by the way.
Thank you.
Did you have any really fun days on set during that show at any point, or any interesting challenges
you
that you
in-
had to overcome or anything like that?
Are you insinuating that the show is dark?
Just a little bit.
Okay, we're all in therapy.
Right.
I cut you off. The difference?
Oh, just if you had any
Challenges?
fun memories from your time on set, or any challenges or anything with the show that
God, there's so
any
many.
interesting
6
stories.
seasons. 6 seasons. I have a ton. The challenges were the weather, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a grueling. We would shoot 17-hour days. It was pouring rain on the side of a mountain that they claimed that there were no feral animals. Ha ha ha. There were no bears, and we would all step in bear poop and go, yeah, okay.
Where were you filming at?
We filmed in Vancouver,
Okay.
on Mount Seymour.
Okay.
And we were all, well, I was in a cotton jacket most of the time, right? And so I threatened in the second season when we were on the ground, I said, all these grounders have fur coats on. He's dead. I'm going to take that fur coat. It was challenging even for the boom operators and everyone, because we would shoot and it was so slippery. So a boom operator would be standing there and you'd go, where'd he go? And it would be down like in the ditch. So it was challenging in that way. You know, 5th season, I'm very proud of my work in that. I asked for that storyline because I thought it was really important.
Yeah.
But we were pretty goofy, unless it was super heavy, right? And then you do preparation.
Yeah.
During the pilot, I used music a lot. And no, it wasn't a Walkman. I got teased incessantly. Don't show your age. I was like, I need my Walkman. They're like, the what? So, you know, horrifying to my son. Like, oh my God. I'm like, sorry. Had trouble with the spaceship door because I forgot I was on a spaceship and was trying to open it. I told this story earlier, and the director's like, you are on a spaceship, Paige, step back. I was like, okay. So we did have fun. You know, we would walk around and say, oh, go float yourself. You know, it was fun.
Yeah.
The subject matter was hard sometimes. We were goofy.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Well,
a lot of bloopers. We were so goofy.
Well, I think you have to, especially when
Oh,
the
God, it was
subject
so
matter is
heavy.
going to be so dark. You've got to have that levity to
It's a
the-
break the
Ian would
tension.
kill me, but when we were on the spaceship, he would break into song and dance.
Nice.
Like
Really?
all of a sudden we're doing a musical, and they go action, and we were like, "Oh my God, they're all gonna die!" Yeah, coming off of the helmet is it, you know. So we had a lot of fun, and we were pretty goofy. Ian was really, and I'm smiling, difficult because he would distract you in coverage. So he would try to make you laugh.
Right.
Right? And my favorite, I love Sachin Jackson. So he wanted to improvise so badly, and it was after the Mountain Men thing
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
with the bone marrow. So I come in on a stretcher, right? And it was fun to have dirt and blood. It really was fun. It was like being a kid. But I come in on a stretcher, and Sachin says to Ian Kane, he says, I really want to improvise. I'm thinking, oh, God. He's not ready for this one. And it's Sachin's coverage. And he puts me down. And he looks up, and Sachin says, what happened? And Ian looks at him and goes, oh. He says, she was drilled hard 3 times. And I'm like, my body's going like this. Don't laugh. And I'm doing this. And I can see Sachin going like this. trying not to laugh. So Ian was the big jokester. But we had to.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah, right on.
You know, but it's amazing you can, depending. 5th season was not like that for me. I really had to not be distracted,
Right on.
you know.
Right on. DB?
I mean, thank you for asking that, because it was a fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm basically up here fanboying, so
That's okay.
no, the TMNT movies are such a hit in our house, and I did not have time to alert my wife that we would be doing this interview. She's going to freak out when she sees the replay of who we're interviewing.
Aw.
But I have a question about those movies, going back to the old technology, if I can break away from the heavy-handed stuff. You talked about the mechanics of the puppetry on the turtles. Did you have to do a lot of ADR on that and go back and loop the dialogue or anything?
The whole movie.
The whole
Oh,
movie.
wow.
The whole
Wow.
movie. And I will tell you, it was the best experience.
Oh.
I mean, I'm like this with ADR. You do 2 whole movies.
Do you get a chance to improve or change things that you didn't like about your original
Yeah,
performance?
a lot of, I was too green. You know, I was just focused on, oh my God, that's what he sounds like, you know? And, well, I gotta match my lips. How do I do this? And I learned never stutter in a scene because it's really hard to ADR a stutter. There's a scene where I'm outside my building, and I'm going into the building, and I was like, and I'm watching it, and I'm going, really? So I was like, oh, we're good. Don't ever do that again, Paige. But yeah, I mean, it was because of the machinery. It was loud, right? So all 2 movies, the whole thing. Yes, in terms of improvement, throughout my career, because a lot of actors don't like to do ADR, because they feel like it's going to take away from their performance. But I'm not one of those actors. I actually think it can benefit you. You know, you just have to be really focused.
Yeah.
And just really put yourself into that place. It's fun, too. Like if, you know, you're being strangled or, you know, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
You learn tricks to be able to do that, and it really is fun. Like,
You have to be a bit of a
they go like
Foley
this and you-
artist.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one quick question before we wrap up our time with you. So you've been in some well-known franchises, you know, with the TMNT, the 100, which has its own, you know, really good following. Is there a franchise that you would like to be a part of, if you could be?
Oh, wow. I'd love to be in well, on my bucket list, I really want to play a vampire.
Oh,
Oh,
very cool.
That'd be
I've
cool.
already died several times in different shows, but a franchise, probably, I'd like to do a superhero.
Superhero. Very
Yeah,
cool.
I think that would be really fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Or a thriller.
Oh, there you go.
I played a ghost once
Yeah.
for Jimmy Smith.
Okay.
And it was his new pilot, and I got a phone call because I knew all of them from NYPD Blue, and they called me and they said, "I'm sorry, we're gonna have to cut your stuff." And I was like, "Oh gosh, was I that bad?" And they were like, "No, it really made his character look like he was crazy because he's talking to his dead wife,
Right.
right?" But yeah, definitely superhero.
Right on,
Would be
right on.
fun.
Well, folks, thank you. Paige, thank you for joining us today on the stage. We're still in day 2. We've got the rest of today plus tomorrow. If you're in the Murfreesboro, Nashville area, come on down, see Paige. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt for a
Yeah, go ahead.
minute. My fantasy franchise would be like The Walking Dead.
Ooh, there you go.
That'd be great.
That would be great. Right on. So who knows? Maybe we'll see you in a superhero film or
I'll be the
a
grandma.
Walking Dead. There you go. But yeah, come on down. Paige just has a table on the convention floor. Make sure you come down, get your autographs, get your pictures with her. It is still day 2. We've got the rest of today plus tomorrow. And Paige, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
having
Thanks for
me.
being here.